A dragon died, Beric is out of extra lives, and we're getting more incest soon. What a time to be alive. Real quick, $15 gift card to Amazon giveaway at the end of this video, so stay put to the end or jump to the end. I'll also announce the winner from last video at the end of this video. This video is brought to you by the Wheel Shirt, and every sale helps the channel. Link in the video description and comment section below. I know for a lot of people this isn't a big deal, but my god, do I love the transitions in this show. There are few shows where I think they nail the transitions, and Game of Thrones is one of them. The map shot up to the wall and then going to them actually beyond the wall was just so cool. Maybe I'm just easily impressed. So let's start beyond the wall with the Fellowship. The dialogue this episode was simply fantastic. We would expect a lot of conversations between characters that have heard of each other, but are meeting for the first time, characters that know characters that other characters know, or characters that have a past together, such as Gendry being pissed at Thoros and Beric, the Brotherhood without banners, for selling him. He whines at them until the Hound shuts that shit down.
This one's been killed 6 times, you don't hear him bitching about it.
I also love the Hound realizing Tormund is talking about Brienne.
Brienne of Tarth.
You know her?
You're with Brienne of fucking Tarth.
And even Jon and Jorah talking about their fathers, which I'll talk about in a little bit. I definitely feel like a Game of Thrones and D&D, the showrunners excel at dialogue, even when they fail at plot sometimes. I mean, Tormund was on fire this episode.
Never been down south. I've been to Winterfell. That's the north.
Seriously, he had to be my favorite part about this episode. I thoroughly enjoyed that Tormund just does not give a shit about personal space or boundaries. Someone tells him to fuck off and he's just more intrigued. And my goodness, the Brienne part and the Hound figuring out who he was talking about was just hilarious. I love the Hound going, "We've met." I also love that Tormund called Brienne a beauty, as she used to be mocked by men and called Brienne the beauty, so it was kind of a nice nod. Please let this mean he gets to live to have babies with Brienne and not die when the wall comes down or when the others get past it and start their slaughterhouse. Close behind my love of Tormund was the Fellowship just talking with each other. I don't know about you, but I really wanted the only other person resurrected in the show to talk with Jon, and I'm happy we got that. I kinda wish they would have discussed dying a bit more, but ah well. I'm not too enthused about Beric saying while they're alive they won't find much joy. That just makes me sad and worried for both of them. The Jon Jorah discussion about Longclaw was also incredibly important, and I'm not sure why Jon waited until Beyond the Wall to talk about giving up his super nifty White Walker killing weapon. Just seems like really bad timing, Jon. Maybe something you want to talk about at Dragonstone or at Eastwatch first. But Jorah stayed true to his character, letting Jon keep it and admitting he lost the right to it through his behavior. I'm happy the two men respect each other despite what Jon knew of Jorah from Ned, which might be the reason why Jon hesitated bringing up the sword. There was the man his father said Jorah was, and then he finally saw the man he is, or the man he has become. We also had Jorah tell Jon to have kids to give it to, which goes against what Jon has said before. He doesn't want kids because of his bastard status. And that all ties into what they're doing with Dany, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. But speaking of kids, I really appreciate that Tyrion is trying to bring up succession with Daenerys. Has Dany thought about what would happen if she dies? Where would her Dothraki go? What kind of horrors would they wreak upon the Seven Kingdoms? Having a plan of succession is important, though I get where she's coming from. She doesn't want to talk about her death, and she doesn't have the Seven Kingdoms yet, so she feels like there isn't a point. The children thing being brought up also obviously hurts her. Back to Beyond the Wall, this episode we got one of the coolest things in a Game of Thrones to date. A polar bear white. I talked about in my wish list that I really wanted to see more types of whites this season, and despite not getting my Krakens or Squishers that I wanted, that white polar bear was enough for me, and I think maybe they even went past my expectations for whites this season. God, that white polar bear was just so fucking epic. Speaking of that polar bear, the characters' consistencies were also great this episode. Every time someone was lit on fire, the Hound looks away. staying true to his trauma with fire, and then not being able to attack the bear and then help Thoros because the polar bear White was on fire. Then we get to them attacking a scouting party led by a White Walker, and Jon just schools his ass. Why aren't the White Walkers better at sword fighting? How long have they lived? How long did they have to practice? Jon seems to take them out easily. Seems like the Night King should be training them better. So they get the White to prove to the queens they exist, but then the rest of the others and their servants show up. And then they send Gendry back to the wall? Why Gendry to run back? Why is he the fastest? How do you know that? He's never seen snow before. He doesn't know the terrain. Why not send the wildling red shirts that grew up in this area? They know the terrain. They know where to go. They've lived in snow pretty much their entire lives. I just feel like the red shirts would have been a better choice than Gendry, I guess. Gendry knows how to fight. From what I could see, the red shirt wildlings sucked at fighting hardcore. Maybe it was because Jon knew Davos would believe Gendry, or maybe because Gendry was bragging about his sick marathons that he runs. I don't know. I'm also not sure why, when the Fellowship got stuck on the rock, why they didn't break the ice around them to stop the Whites, or at least buy themselves more time. Also, goddammit, Sandor, maybe don't terrorize the hundreds of undead surrounding you. Thoros dying in the night while on the rock from his wounds or from the cold, and he was unable to tolerate it as well because of his wounds, was just so sad. So let's have a moment of silence for Thoros of Myr. He died as he lived, drunk off his ass.
Fuck you, I'm drunk. Fuck you, I'm drunk. Pour my beer down the sink. I've got more in the trunk. Fuck you, I'm drunk. Fuck you, I'm drunk. And I'm going to be drunk till the next time I'm drunk.
Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to talk about them surviving for an extended period of time without shelter or the rate at which Dany got the message and arrived beyond the wall. I just feel like complaining about it isn't going to do anything, and I'm just going to pretend like everything just synced up. Fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. But part of me does feel the Night King set this trap. If he was created by the Children of the Forest, and originally he was part of the First Men, he could have the green sight. So he knew they'd come beyond the wall, he knew Dany would bring her dragons, and waited for the opportunity. At least that's what I'm hoping. I'm not sure why the Night King went after the mobile dragon that was flying around, and not for the closer dragon that was landed, carrying the heroes. You know, and a hero they saw coming in riding a dragon and seeming to control them. You know, the dragon burning a shit ton of their troops. I think the Night King is a troll or was just making a point. I'm also kind of pissed Jon didn't get on the dragon. Drogon had it covered, and he was doing fine keeping them off him. If Jon would have just hurried on the dragon's back, everything would have been fine. His behavior was just kind of unnecessary, and I felt like he just let his rage get in the way. I love that Rhaegal noped the fuck out of there as soon as Viserion was hit. He was like, nope. Don't get paid enough for this. Now that the others have a dragon, that is definitely how they're taking down the wall, so good job, guys. I do think Benjin showing up was logical. He was likely tracking the others' movements, or saw some huge-ass dragons and decided to head over, or Bran could have told Benjin where to go. As Benjin said before, the Three-Eyed Raven has told him what to do. Bran is the Three-Eyed Raven now, and could have given Benjin instructions. Benjin's death still made me feel a little empty though, and I can't figure out why. But it is kind of interesting that Jon was saved not only by his uncle, but his aunt this episode. So pretty much everyone from the Suicide Squad, minus the red shirts and Thoros, made it back to the wall. I don't understand why so many named characters lived on this super dangerous mission. I know it's terrible to wish death upon characters in the show, but really? The only people that died in the Fellowship was Thoros and the red shirts. We should have a few more. I hate to say Tormund because I love the guy and he's a fellow ginger, but in that scene where he was being dragged into the water, he probably should have died. Just doesn't seem believable that they had that many named characters that didn't die in a super dangerous Beyond the Wall mission where they encountered a fuck ton of enemies. I know we're supposed to be distracted by Thoros, a dragon, and Benjin dying, but I don't buy it. Maybe John dying again and Barrett giving his life for him? Something like that would have been a lot better. But this is all leading to something that we've all been waiting for. Something that we're all anticipating and losing our minds over. John and Dani, incest banging. Those two were eye-fucking each other like crazy. I'm happy she finally saw he literally took a knife in the heart for his people, which just made her want him even more. They're gonna bone so hard. So hard. But on the boning, they are foreshadowing Dani having kids with John so hard. Her constant talking of her dragons being kids, Tyrion bringing up she can't have kids, Dani saying that to John, and those two giving each other the googly eyes is just setting all of this up. If Dani isn't pregnant in season 8, I would be thoroughly shocked. This is all leading up to the joining of Ice and Fire, and John riding the dragon named after his biological dad. Though I'm not looking forward to the two dragons versus Viserion. That is going to break Dani's heart, and Drogon's scream when his brother died was hard enough. Okay, let's end on Winterfell and that weird-ass plot line. My god, can they stop talking about Ned? It kills me how much those kids loved him and how great of a father he was. The bow and arrow story from Arya was just heartbreaking. Arya is seriously tweaking out or something. I want to say I hope her character isn't that dumb, that she can understand Sansa had to do what she did to survive, but we've seen her do stupid shit before. Arya just needs to calm down. She's blinded by anger. She should be able to see Sansa was forced. Though I do think Arya should be pissed at Sansa that she betrayed her father when telling Cersei about them leaving. That was a bitch thing to do, but she was blinded by her wanting to become a queen fantasies. But Arya did serve the Lannisters too to survive, so she's kinda being a hypocrite. I have to believe there's more going on with this. We have a few clues. There's always cawing of ravens every time Littlefinger is around. I'm hoping this is Bran keeping tabs on him and his sisters. That there is something of Bran still concerned about them. Then Sansa sending Brienne away after Littlefinger talks about her defending the girls. This could go a few ways though. One, maybe Sansa thought Littlefinger meant Brienne would defend Arya because the contents of the letter were showing Sansa being dishonorable. Or maybe she didn't want Littlefinger to manipulate Brienne or include her in his schemes. Or maybe Sansa is planning something and wanted Brienne out of the way. Even working with Arya. Arya freaking out on Sansa and then giving her the dagger has to be symbolism. Like she put on a show for Littlefinger to hear but then gave Sansa the dagger, letting her know everything is okay. I know a few people on my live stream thought they were passing notes through the dagger or the sheet Sansa burned was a note from Arya, but I think we'll just have to see. I'm just crossing my fingers that there's more to this than Arya just being a psycho. I'm really tired of the Stark siblings fighting, and maybe for it to end, Littlefinger needs to die. So next episode, we're going to see Jon and friends at King's Landing and try to get Cersei to join their fight, which I'm sure is just going to be a great time. Crossing my fingers for a Hound Mountain showdown, but we probably won't get it. Oh, and I love the invitation to King's Landing to Sansa. Like hell she was gonna go there. Alright, let's end on giveaways. Last video, I asked you guys to tell me who was gonna die first on the mission Beyond the Wall. And the winner was Stone Cold Elf, who wrote, Thoros of Myr dies first. Cut to Beric Dondarrion, who just lost his unlimited cheat code. I just love this comment. Stone Cold Elf, message me for your gift card. New giveaway for your chance to win a $15 gift card to Amazon, just like this video, and answer this question in the comment section down below. What is the worst way this season could end? Make it super crazy. I'll announce the winner next episode review. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and come back for more videos.